few important recapitulation of the last class. HIV is a retrovirus. Why it was called a retrovirus? Because presence of the enzyme reverse transcriptase, that's why it was called a retrovirus. The main genes or main identifying genes you need to know about in lab diagnosis also. The envelope gene and gag and pol gene. These are core matrix gene P24, P18, GP160 divided into GP1. Protease enzyme. So you need to remember these genes because in lab diagnosis, the antibody against these genes need to be identified. So you need to know the envelope gene. Now this is the one of the important slide of the last class. What are the opportunistic infection at what level? So when the CD4 count is around 500 or less, you can have bacterial skin infection. In 400, less than 400, Kaposi sarcoma. In less than 300, hairy leukopenia and tuberculosis. Around 200, pneumocystis caridii and cryptococcus. And less than 50, Mycobacterium avium complex. This will be required again to, now this already I have discussed in the last class, the clinical staging of WHO and CDC. Before going to the lab diagnosis, I discussed in the last slide, this is the aim of AIDS control. The 95% of the all people should have a diagnosis. 95% should be taking life-saving antiretroviral treatment, and 95% of the people living with HIV on treatment should achieve a suppressed viral load. This is the present status. In India, we still have not achieved that 95 goal. Now, high risk group. In diagnosis, this will be required. Who are high risk groups? The NACO strategy difference, there is a difference between the high risk group and non-high risk group. So, high risk group are female sex workers, men who have sex with men, transgender and IV drug abuser. They are extremely high risk. Moderately high risk, healthcare workers via needle pricks and splashes, hemophiliacs who receive regular blood, and people with other sexually transmitted infection. They are mainly the high risk group. What is the most common opportunistic infection in HIV? Overall, which is the most common? Mycobacterium tuberculosis is overall the most common opportunistic infection. If a single question comes, what is the most common opportunistic infection in HIV? That is Mycobacterium tuberculosis. That's why while you diagnose any laboratory diagnosis of HIV, it is a dictum. When you get a TB patient, you must screen for HIV, and when you get a HIV positive patient, the patient should be screened for tuberculosis. This is the dictum for National Tuberculosis Eradication Program and NACO guidelines. So, most common opportunistic infection is Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Overall, common fungal infection are candidiasis, oral thrush, pneumocystis jirovecii. Frequent viral infection are herpes simplex and cytomegalovirus retinitis, and common parasitic infection are cryptosporidium, parvum, diarrhea and toxoplasma encephalitis. These are the most common or the most frequent. These are the few organizations. You should know the full name or the names of the organizations. The Joint United Nations Program on HIV, NACO. NACO is National AIDS Control Organization in India. So this is the all over India organization. NACO. SACS is State AIDS Prevention and Control Society. SACS. SACS is the state Its office is in the Sastro Bhavan. And National Strategic Plan for HIV and AIDS. Hey, a problem হচ্ছে. Now, before we go to the lab diagnosis, you should know what are the immune status and how long. There are 3 types of tests: screening test, supplementary test, and confirmatory test. These are 3 types of tests available for lab diagnosis of HIV. Now it's already. You should know about the immune response. Viremia. When the virus enters in our body, it leads to a transient high level of viremia. That time we get the P24 antigen in our blood. Next, the humoral response, antibody response can be IgM, can be IgA or IgG. Though against these are structural protein, these are regulatory protein, and these are accessory protein. The main, our diagnostic point lies in these: GP41, GP120, GP160. So these all are envelope protein and their antibody are consistent throughout the disease process. So all our diagnoses which are rapid or screening tests or supplementary, both are antibody based, and those main consistent antibody is both the case is IgG. IgG type antibody what we detect. What is window period? 3 to 12 weeks. The window period may be 3 to 12 weeks. The cause of blood transfusion mediated HIV transmission is mainly window period. Previous tests cannot detect window period without any PCR, but the 4th generation ELISA or 4th generation rapid test kit has come, which also detect, along with antibody, it detects the P24 antigen. So that's why we can curtail the window period. Here window period is 3 to 12 weeks. If we detect so antibodies to GAG protein P24 usually appear first. As infection progresses to AIDS, antibody to P24 usually declines. However, the antibody, that was the point, antibodies to N protein, that is GP120, which is GP41, GP160, they are consistent throughout the disease process. Among the antibodies, only IgG response is consistent. Most currently available assays detect the IgG antibody. Now laboratory diagnosis proper. For any laboratory diagnosis of HIV, you must follow these 3 steps. That is consent, confidentiality, and counseling. Consent, you must explain to the patient the need of the test, why it is done. Patient may be asymptomatic, patient may be symptomatic, and counts confidentially, because you cannot give a positive report, you cannot display the positive report in a word. There was an incident, one of the nursing staff, not in West Bengal, have displayed HIV positive, so that other sisters know that patient is HIV positive. That patient committed a suicide because other people from his neighborhood or family has come. There is a board like HIV positive in the bed. So you should not display or disclose the result to other people without the consent of the patient. You cannot give the result if it comes positive to his family members. That should be given in a closed envelope, and to the treating physician you can give, or to the patient after counseling. So counseling should be either it is pre-test counseling and post-test counseling. So there is a counseling, counselor, you should know about something about the ICTC center, where usually the tests are being done. ICTC center, where counselor must be there along with the laboratory technicians and doctors for counseling, pre-test counseling and post-test counseling, and result cannot be disclosed. One of you are asking from the ward to the technician, what is the report? The technician also should not disclose the report over phone. So that is 3C you must remember while laboratory diagnosis of HIV infection. So specific test and non-specific immunological method. First we go for the specific test. Specific means that is directly related to the HIV. So screening test, antibody detection, supplemental test, also antibody detection, and confirmatory test. Coming to the next thing. What are the screening tests? Screening tests either it is ICTC means Integrated Counseling and Treatment Center, ICTC, and another is ART Center. This must be there in a medical college. ICTC, Integrated Counseling and Treatment Center, and ART, Antiretroviral Treatment Center, that must be there. Screening test either may be rapid test or maybe ELISA. The screening test must be highly sensitive. Specificity is less than the sensitivity, but it must be highly sensitive. Should be confirmed. Result of a single screening test should never be used as a final interpretation. Now, what are the antigen against which the antibody is asked? Already I have mentioned for HIV-1. HIV-1, it is GP120, GP41 or GP160. And in HIV-2, GP36. So against this antigen, antibody are tested. If you go to our central lab, you can see the rapid test. There are HIV-1 and HIV-2 and control. These are the three markers are there. So HIV-2 is GP36. Which antigen is targeted? That is GP36. ELISA, most commonly performed screening tests at blood banks and tertiary care. Now, fourth generation ELISA, as I was telling, fourth generation ELISA, along with HIV antibody, it detects P24 antigen also. Rapid and simple test, ease of performance and quick result, that is kit test less than 30 minutes. What are the rapid tests available? What are the rapid tests have you seen? One is rapid test, what you have seen is immunochromatography or lateral flow. That is lateral flow. Another is dot blot assay. Another is immunoconcentration. So dot blot assay for immunoconcentration method, that is tri-dot test. These two you can see in our central lab also, the tri-dot test or dot blot assay, and another test is Combs test. Combs means the kit or that looks like comb. That is comb test, not in the name of any scientist. Comb test, that is dipstick or comb test, that is usually like ELISA. So these are the rapid tests available. Supplemental test, that is been the rapid initial screening test being confirmed by supplemental test. So what are the supplemental tests and what is the most important supplemental test you should know? That is Western blot. Western blot is the most commonly performed supplemental test. They are expensive, labor intensive, need expertise to interpret it. So Western blot, most commonly used supplemental test. It is, what is the principle? Immunoblot technique. It detects individual antibodies in serum separately. In other tests, rapid tests, we detect either HIV-1, HIV-2 and P24. But in Western blot, all the antibodies against the different antigens are detected separately. So this is a type of test, a nitrocellulose paper, and these antibodies are detected like this: GP160, GP120, P55, P24, these are the types. So WHO criteria, what is the WHO criteria for positive Western blot? At least 2 of the 3, GP120, GP41 or GP160 এই তিনটের মধ্যে যে কোনো দুটো পজিটিভ হতে হবে with or without any gag or pole bands. And CDC criteria, presence of any two out of P24, GP120, GP160, GP41. So that you can understand the most important are antibody against the envelope protein. That must be there for confirmation, supplemental test or rapid test. Detection of P24 core antigen. P24 antigen becomes detectable after 12 to 26 days and P24 antigen can be detected by 4th generation ELISA, but it is less sensitive. It is not throughout the disease process you can detect P24. The consistency throughout the disease process is less. কখনো তাড়াতাড়ি হচ্ছে। So use of P24, confirmation of diagnosis of HIV, diagnosis of HIV during window period, diagnosis of late stage of HIV, CNS disease, diagnosis of HIV in infants, though not reliable, monitoring the progress of the HIV and resolve the equivocal Western blot results. Now what are the confirmatory tests? These are the three confirmatory tests. The most, what is the best and the most reliable confirmatory test কোনটা হবে, which is the most gold standard confirmatory test is reverse transcriptase PCR detecting HIV RNA. This is the most reliable and gold standard confirmatory test is reverse transcriptase. This is along with real time, it is a reverse transcriptase PCR because it detects RNA and it is real time, that is mean quantification can be done. So this is a quantitative test. You can detect the number of RNA copies. So this is quantitative test and this can detect. So reverse transcriptase PCR, branch DNA assay, NASBA, real-time RT-PCR for estimating viral load. HIV DNA detection useful for diagnosis of pediatric HIV. Can anybody tell why in pediatric, last class also I have mentioned, the diagnosis of HIV in pediatric people less than 18 months is different. A separate question can come, how will you diagnose the pediatric HIV patient who is less than 18 months old? Antibody, whether it is reliable to detect the antibody in this patient, because maternal antibody will be in their blood. So the antibody test is not reliable. So antibody test cannot be done because not reliable. P24 can be detected, but that is also not reliable. So why we are not detecting RNA but we are detecting DNA? In the initial multiplication of HIV, I have told initial part, after it enters the cell, after the receptor arrangements, it enters the nucleus of the host cell and it forms a proviral DNA. The host cell nucleus is captured by the retrovirus as it transforms the RNA into DNA, and in the host cell it forms a proviral DNA. Host cell nucleus, it forms a proviral DNA. This proviral DNA is detected in pediatric patient as DNA PCR. RNA PCR can also be detected, but proviral DNA PCR is also detected in case of HIV. So the children below 18 months, you must mention the proviral DNA PCR for the diagnosis of HIV in children below 18 months. Another question, this MCQ can come, what is the method of culture or isolation of HIV virus? That is co-cultivation. Co-cultivation of HIV in lymphocytes. It is usually done in lymphocytes. The co-cultivation term you need to remember, that is the method of viral culture in HIV. Co-cultivation technique. Now HIV RNA. Now what is the implication? as we are mainly more concerned about diagnosis in window period. So usually window period is 3 to 12 weeks. If we detect RNA PCR or reverse transcriptase PCR, what is the window period? Window period can be around 12 to 14 days. And when we detect P24, the average is 16 days. So window period can be decreased. If we detect the PCR, so if we can use PCR, the window period decreases to 12 to 14 days. And if we detect the P24 antigen, the window period average is 16, that is 14 to 30 days. So this part 16 days is the average and 12 days is the average for RNA-PCR. So the window period from 12 weeks we can decrease up to 12 days if we use PCR or P24. So fourth generation assays which are developed as a rapid and fourth generation ELISA decrease the window period quite a bit. What are the non-specific tests? Sometimes these are also used for monitoring the treatment. One is low CD4 T cell count, hypergammaglobulopenia, detection of neopterin, beta-2 macroglobulin, altered CD4 CD8 T cell ratio. NACO, National AIDS Control Organization, has formulated a strategic plan. Tawle these are done. Before I go to the NACO strategy, which is frequently asked, and why NACO has devised their strategy. Now, how will you monitor the treatment? You should know also. After NACO strategy, we will do how we will monitor the treatment. So, NACO, as we have already learned, there may be rapid test or screening test, there may be supplementary test and confirmatory test. But India is a resource poor country, though most of the labs or most of the people may not afford those costly supplemental tests and confirmatory tests. That's why NACO have devised a strategy to diagnose HIV with screening test only, but so positive result of the screening test, so there may be 1, 2 or 3 screening tests to diagnose the HIV. So here in NACO strategy there is no supplemental or no confirmatory test, but based on the screening test only. So first screening test should be highly sensitive, second and third screening test should have a high specificity. 3 screening tests should use the different principle and different antigen. The same kit should not be used. If you use one of the lateral flow, then another kit must be flow through or tridot or comb. Like the third test will be of a different ELISA. So supplemental confirmatory test only used when the screening tests are equivocal or intermediate. So 1, what is NACO strategy 1? For which patient we use NACO strategy 1? NACO strategy is 1 for either for any blood transfusion or any transplant, when we are going for any transplant. So in blood bank, there is one single test is done that is highly sensitive. If the test comes positive, what will you do? You are working in a blood bank, first screening test, it becomes positive. Should you inform the patient? What should be done? First is, in blood bank, if you get a screening test positive, first you discard the blood. Whether you will inform the patient or inform the person from whom the blood was taken? No, because it is the only single test you have done. It is not diagnostic. You need not inform the person from which the blood is taken. Officially, no information to the patient because it is only single test is done. Only discard the sample. That is the strategy 1. If one test is used, if it is positive, discard the sample, destroy the blood, refer to ICTC for confirmation after consent. Patient ke bola jete pare jodi take HIV positive bola jete pare, they may be sent to ICTC center after taking consent, but you cannot directly inform that person that you are HIV positive. You can send for further confirmation. Second is strategy 2. Strategy 2, there are 2 parts, 2A and 2B. 2A for epidemiological surveillance. Epidemiology means there is a news, like a new state is formed. You don't know the prevalence of the HIV in that state. That epidemiological surveillance, you have to use strategy 2. How many tests? 2 tests are done. If the both test comes positive, report positive. If one positive, one negative, report negative. So that is the 2 test strategy for strategy 2A. So 1 we have covered, strategy 1 we have covered, there is 1 test, strategy 2A also 2 tests. If it is negative, it is negative. If 1 test comes positive, go for the second test. If the second test comes negative, report negative. If both tests comes positive, then it is positive. Strategy 2B, diagnosis of an individual with AIDS indicator disease. What are the AIDS indicator disease? First you must know what are the AIDS indicator disease. Can anybody tell what are the AIDS indicator disease? Initially I have also mentioned in this class. Any weight loss more than 10%, persistent diarrhea for 1 month or more, persistent generalized lymphadenopathy. These are AIDS indicator disease. Esophageal candidiasis, these patient presenting with some opportunistic infection. So these are AIDS indicator disease. When the patient having some symptoms of related to HIV, that means 2 or 3 test kits required for 2B. When first test is done, A1 is positive, go for A2. If both are positive, report positive with post-test counseling. If first test is positive, second test is negative, go for third test. If it is the third test is positive, it is indeterminate, and it is if the third test is negative. So 1 test positive, 1 test negative, third test positive, it is indeterminate. That means you must tell the patient to come again after 12 weeks for retesting. And if the first test is positive, other 2 tests are negative, then you report it as negative. That is for AIDS symptomatic patient. Third is strategy 3. Like you are doing screening for any pre-op patient, any asymptomatic patient, that is strategy 3. 3 tests to be done for confirmation of the. So if first test is done, it is positive, do the second test, it comes positive, do the third test, it comes positive. If all 3 tests come positive, report as positive with post-test counseling. If 2 tests positive and 1 test negative, indeterminate, so retesting is required. And here, first test is positive, second test is negative, do for the third test. If the third test come positive, it is indeterminate. And if both the tests are 1 test positive and other 2 negative, if it is not in the high risk group, as I mentioned the high risk group, then it is indeterminate. It is not in the high risk group, call it as negative. NACO strategy you must know, it is usually asked in the exam in one of the other form, either in short note or lab diagnosis of HIV. So NACO strategy you must know. And what is about NACO strategy? It is mostly the screening test, and it is done, 3 tests are done for an asymptomatic patient, 2 tests are done for a symptomatic patient. There is no supplemental test or confirmatory test is there in the NACO strategy. Any question about NACO strategy? Now prognosis or monitoring of HIV. How will you monitor the HIV when the patient is on treatment? How will you monitor the patient is responding or not? What is the best method? What is the most common method? The most common method is CD4 cell count. So monitoring is done by CD4 cell count. How it is done? Any idea about how the CD4? All ART center have CD4 test facility. CD4 test is done by flow cytometry. Flow cytometry is a method, it is an immunological method. Flow cytometry or fluorescence machine may be named as FACS, fluorescence activated cell sorter. CD4 test is done by flow cytometry. What is usually check? CD3 is the pan T cell marker and CD4 is the helper cell marker. So 2 antibodies are usually used, anti-CD4 and anti-CD3 to detect the ratio of CD4 and total T cells. So the method of detecting CD4 cell is flow cytometry or fluorescence activated cell sorter. Next is HIV RNA load. This is the most common. So when you are asked, the most common for monitoring is CD4. What is the best? Best is again HIV RNA. That is quantitative. Quantitative HIV RNA. So this should be the test of choice. This is the best tool for monitoring. This is the best tool. What is the most common is CD4 and best tool is HIV RNA, that is reverse transcriptase PCR, most consistent and best tool. P24 can be detected, neoptorin and beta-2 microglobulin level are also detected. Now, why we are not detecting viral antibody? Because viral antibody is not a consistent marker during the late stage. The pediatric HIV already we have discussed. So how the pediatric HIV to be diagnosed, I am not repeating. So these are pediatric HIV detection, HIV DNA detection. I have explained why the DNA is detected. Then HIV RNA can also be detected, P24 antigen and IgG ELISA only after 18 months. So up to 18 months, you cannot prescribe a antibody test for HIV in diagnosis of pediatric HIV. Window period. Initial time interval between exposure and appearance of antibody. The antibody appears usually 3 to 12 weeks, maybe 2 to 8 weeks. It may be as low as 22 days, P24 usually 12 to 26 days, HIV RNA 10 to 14 days. Already I have discussed these are the decreasing the window period if we detect P24 and HIV RNA. Now treatment of HIV. Pharma class কি তোমাদের anti-HIV retroviral therapy এখনো হয়নি তো. So just you what are the aim of antiretroviral therapy? Clinical goal is prolongation of life, improvement in quality of life, virological goals, greatest possible sustained reduction in the viral load, immune reconstitution, both quantitative and qualitative improvement, and transmission goal, reduction of HIV transmission. So these are the goal of antiretroviral therapy. Last দিন আমি জিজ্ঞেস করেছিলাম one patient was cured of HIV, first patient who was cured of HIV তার কি নাম ছিল? Timothy Brown from Berlin was the first patient who was cured from HIV. He had contracted HIV in 1995. Then he developed acute myeloid leukemia in 2006, for which he was a bone marrow transplantation was done, and the bone marrow he received had the delta 32 mutation in CCR5, and this patient was cured of HIV. The first patient who was cured of HIV was Timothy Brown from Berlin, who was cured of HIV. This is a rare mutation usually found in European people. CCR5, one of the co-receptor for HIV infection, and with absence of presence of this mutation, lead the cells, the host cells become resistant to HIV infection. There are another 6 cases of cure of HIV after this, but Timothy Brown was the first person who was cured of HIV after a bone marrow transplantation. Now what is the indication? Previously, the retroviral therapy was started according to the CD4 count of the patient. But now, irrespective of the CD4 count, you need to start highly active retroviral therapy in all positive patients. So there is no correlation with the CD4 count. You have to give highly active antiretroviral therapy in all patients. Clinical stage, age of population and associated OI. কোনোটাই দেখতে হবে না, nothing you have to see. Patient is HIV positive, post-test counseling and starting of highly active antiretroviral therapy. So this is heart, sometimes short note may come on this heart. Heart means highly active retroviral therapy. Use of combination of at least 3 antiretroviral drugs to maximally suppress the HIV and stop the progression of the disease. Monotherapy with single drug is contraindicated due to inefficiency and chance of development of resistance. So highly active antiviral therapy, you have to also write about the drugs, what are the drugs, and this indication of starting the antiretroviral therapy, also part of something about monitoring. Now, can you tell what is the lifespan now with heart patient having HIV is on highly active antiviral therapy, what is the lifespan? If the patient is left untreated, the lifespan of AIDS is around 10 years. If the patient is left untreated. But now with antiretroviral therapy, lifespan is almost similar. Lifespan is almost similar to non-HIV patients. So the prolongation of life and quality of life is better with antiretroviral therapy, and the lifespan is almost similar to non-HIV patients. NACO recommends the first line heart regime. 3-drug regime means tenofovir, lamivudine and dolutegravir. This is the first choice. These are the 3-drug, tenofovir, lamivudine and dolutegravir. কি করে monitor করবে, already I have told CD4 count and HIV RNA viral load is the monitoring. So you would mention these things. Every 3 to 6 months, opportunistic infection should be adequately treated with appropriate antimicrobial. Pneumocystis pneumonia, cryptococcal meningitis and isoniazid preventive therapy for tuberculosis. Pneumocystis pneumonia তোমাদের ক্লাস হয়নি, what is the treatment or what is the preventive, কি দেওয়া হয়, কোন ওষুধ দেওয়া হয়? Pneumocystis জিরোভিসি, এখন ক্যারিনি নিউমোনিয়া বলে না, it is জিরোভিসি, pneumocystis জিরোভিসি pneumonia, the co-trimoxazole is given, and in case of cryptococcal meningitis you need to give an IV pentamidine or amphotericin B for the treatment of cryptococcus meningitis. So these are the antiretroviral drugs. You will read in details in pharmacology. I have just put a table. NRTI, NNRTI, protease inhibitor and fusion inhibitor. Every stage of the replication you should remember to know the mechanism of all the antiretroviral drug. I am not going in details. So zidovudine are some example of non-reverse transcriptase inhibitors are zidovudine, stabudine, lamivudine, one of those, one of NNRTI, nevirapine, sacubitril and fusion inhibitor N-food-vitide, and these are dolutegravir and dolutegravir, these are new integrase inhibitor. CCR5 receptor inhibitor are maraviroc. Sometime MCQ can come on this table. This you have to remember. There is no shortcut to remember this, or no mnemonic. You must remember these antiretroviral drug table and mechanism of action. Really, the most common regime used tenofovir, lamivudine and efavirenz. HIV-1 infection. In HIV-2, tenofovir, lamivudine plus lopinavir, ritonavir may be used. Zidovudine, lamivudine and nevirapine may be used. Problem of use of ART, toxicity and adverse side effect, lipid abnormalities, high cost, the risk of development of drug resistance and dissemination of resistant virus, limited therapeutic options. IRIS is a term you should little bit know about IRIS, that is immune reconstitution syndrome. Immune reconstitution inflammatory syndrome is IRIS, usually can be seen with a patient with like HIV TB, HIV cryptococcal meningitis. So these are the patients who can IRIS. So what is the cause of IRIS? Whether you should start the anti-TB drug and antiretroviral therapy on the same time or not. So you should look at a immune reconstitution syndrome with this type of, when the HIV patient is having tuberculosis, a known positive tuberculosis, the starting of the treatment should be antiretroviral therapy should be given after post-exposure prophylaxis. You must know, because there may be any needle prick during your work of you, your colleague, or a nursing staff. So PEP, you must know needle stick injury post-exposure prophylaxis. PEP is required to reduce the risk of transmission after occupational exposure, needle stick or sharp injury, mucocutaneous exposure. Every hospital should have a nodal center for PEP, and it is 3 drugs. Now it consists of 3 drugs: tenofovir, lamivudine, plus either lopinavir, ritonavir. So 3 drugs regime for PEP. When it should be given? Any idea? PEP? Because we don't have any vaccine or immunoglobulin in HIV. So PEP. কখন দেয়া হবে? When it should be started? কতদিন চলবে PEP for 3 drugs? It should be started as early as possible. If source is unknown, start within 2 hours of exposure, not later than 72 hours, and it should be continued for 28 days. It should be started as soon as possible. কোনো পেশেন্ট যদি এমার্জেন্সিতে বা পেশেন্ট বা হেলথ কেয়ার ওয়ার্কার প্রেজেন্টিং উইথ এ নিডল স্টিক ইনজুরি with a known HIV patient, PEP should be started and it should be continued for 28 days. What are the 3 points to remember? PEP should be started immediately, not later than 72 hours, continued for 28 days, and 3 drugs. Tenofovir, again you remember these 3 drugs: tenofovir, lamivudine, plus lopinavir or ritonavir. Post-exposure source is unknown or positive for HIV. Pregnant woman. Even it can come in your OSPI. Counseling or HIV patients, a HIV positive mother, what should you advise? What should you advise? Antiretroviral therapy should be started. Patient should be on 3 drugs antiretroviral therapy. Who are HIV reactive should be on lifelong ART, that is TLE regime, tenofovir, lamivudine and efavirenz, and the newborn baby should be given syrup nevirapine immediately after birth and extended up to 12 weeks if the duration of ART of the mother is less than 24 weeks. So you have diagnosed mother late, the ART duration was less than 24 weeks, then you need to continue the nevirapine syrup up to 12 weeks. Also initiated on cotrimoxazole prophylaxis from 6 weeks till 18 months. Cotrimoxazole, why only cotrimoxazole prophylaxis is given according to NAC guideline? To prevent pneumocystis jirovecii pneumonia. So cotrimoxazole prophylaxis for opportunistic infection. So you don't get HIV, already I have discussed in the last class also. So stigma should be removed from the society. The main aim of this slide, you should also be a part of the India government or government initiative to reduce the stigma among the other people about the people living with HIV. Now before completing, I just go for the few words about diagnosis of opportunistic infection. Common is Mycobacterium, most common is Mycobacterium tuberculosis. How will you diagnose? You know, everybody has a TB class. Next is candidiasis. Candidiasis, how will you diagnose? Candidiasis, it is a fungus, Candida albicans, maybe non-albicans Candida. You can grow in Seborrheic dextrose agar or Seborrheic dextrose agar with chloramphenicol. Gram stain will show a gram-positive budding yeast cell. Gram-positive budding yeast cell to diagnose the Candida. What is the treatment for candidiasis? Usually azoles was the initial drug, either fluconazole or itraconazole can be used, fluconazole, but now the most of the candida are resistant to azole. Then you can use caspofungin or micafungin if candidemia is there. Patient is admitted with candidemia, you have to go for those things, caspofungin or micafungin. Now the first choice of drug, as most of the patients are, most of the candida and non-albicans candida are resistant to azole. Next is pneumocystis jirovecii pneumonia. How will you diagnose? These are the important. Pneumocystis jirovecii pneumonia is an atypical pneumonia. So patient will not have a productive cough. Dry cough, either you have to take a bowel fluid for you get the cyst of pneumocystis carinea in the bowel fluid. So any question from your side about HIV? And what are the points you must remember in HIV? In two classes, what are the most important points you should remember? One is it is a retrovirus. Two are positive sense RNA. Two positive sense RNA there. And envelope protein GP160 divided into two parts, 140 and 120. 120 and GP41. And this is a transmembrane protein and GP120. These are the, and the, how the multiplication, the receptor is CD4 receptor for entry of the HIV. You must remember the CD4. What is the most common cell that is affected? CD4. That is either T helper cell or the macrophage. Both contain the CD4 receptor. So the two most common cells which are infected by HIV are T helper cell, which cell have content CD4 receptor. These are T helper cell and macrophage. Dendritic cell also have receptor for HIV, that is called DC sign receptors. And how the entry, the GP120 is a knob-like structure that enters attached to the receptor, and there must be two co-receptor, CCR5 and CXCR4. These are co-receptor entry. After entry in the host cell, it converts the RNA into DNA. That is the role of reverse transcriptase, and that DNA is integrated with the host cell nucleus. So that proviral DNA, pediatric diagnosis proviral DNA, that is the first part is becomes proviral DNA. This part is no, and laboratory diagnosis, you should remember the three part. One is NACO strategy, the strategy 1, 2, 3, 2A, 2B and 3, and what are the screening tests, what are supplementary tests, what are confirmatory tests, and what is the most common best confirmatory test is HIV RNA PCR. RNA PCR, that is reverse transcriptase PCR, and that is also the best tool for monitoring the treatment also, HIV RNA. Quantitative HIV RNA, quantitative, any quantification of the PCR, you need to have a real-time PCR. Conventional PCR cannot give a quantification, so whether it is an hepatitis B or hepatitis C or HIV, for quantification you need to have a real-time PCR. So RT means also real-time and also reverse transcriptase PCR. If you detect RNA, that is reverse transcriptase, and real-time is also RT. And pregnant, you should also know the nevirapine, the prophylaxis nevirapine, and opportunistic infection at what level. Most common opportunistic infection, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. At 500, some bacterial infection, around 300 tuberculosis, less than 200 you get pneumocystis jirovecii, and less than 50 you get MAC. So these opportunistic infection may have a question, and the PEP, post-exposure prophylaxis, you should all know because you are going to be there in doctors, and all other healthcare worker will come to you after a needle prick, so you should know about the PEP. Should be started immediately and should be continued for 28 days and 3 drug regime. Okay, thank you.